Hi, everyone. Our story begins with the averted tragedy of October 8th. The year was 1967, and our beloved city of Yerushalayim, also identified by many other names, including Hefziba, the city, the country, and the world was still marveling at the miraculous turn of events in Yerushalayim just a few months before. In fact, on Rehov Yafo, on Jaffa Road, the famed Zion Cinema planned to show a feature about the miraculous victory of the Six-Day War. However, on this particular day, October 8th, at the then famous Zion Cinema on Yafo Street, a young Arab woman, the first female to prepare a terrorist action, Fatma Bernawi, desired to teach the Israelis a lesson and planted a bomb hidden in a purse inside the theater, rigged to create maximum explosion. Now, with Hashem's help, a security guard noticed the purse and the attempted bombing didn't happen. However, a reminder of the event is etched in the heart of Israelis and Jews worldwide. That was the day that the term Chayfetz Chashud, the suspicious package, was coined. You know, the concept of Chayfetz Chashud is not foreign to Parshas Kiseitze. After all, the Torah reminds us to be on guard when around lost items in multiple mitzvos in the Parsha. We're told to be aware of the loaded donkey which may be crushed under its load, and that we are able to help the owner unload. We're warned about Hashavas Aveda, about the mitzvah to help return lost objects to their rightful owners. We're reminded in these instances, Lo Suchal Hisalem, we have a responsibility to the society and to our fellow man or woman not to look away. Yes, we're to be on guard for the Chayfetz Chashud, for the suspicious package. The term Chayfetz Chashud can be found in the Parsha in two other out-of-the-box references. You see, the literal translation of the term Chayfetz Chashud refers to not a suspicious item, but a suspicious desire. Sometimes it refers to the evil intent of a terrorist who attaches a nefarious plan. But other times it could simply refer to the suspicious desires in any relationship. And in our parsha, the word chayfetz or chafetz only appears in the context of the latter, the suspicious relationships, and in both the desires of those involved in Av Hashem and the mitzvos, the word appears and it calls for an explanation. You see, at the beginning of the parsha, we're introduced to the challenges of war and the capture of captives. And in that context, we're told of the Yifas Toar, who moves into the home of the soldier contemplating marrying her, and she's left to cry for her family for 30 days, after which time, we're told, the soldier may choose to marry her. However, the Torah adds another component to the story. You and I are told, V'haya, and it will be, Imlo Chofatztaba, if you should not desire her, then Shilachta L'nafsha, you'll send her away wherever she wants to go. Umachorlo Simkarena Bakasef, you may not sell her for money. What does Chayfetz or Chafatzta have to do with our situation? Wasn't our soldier expressing a different desire on the battlefield? Didn't the Torah identify his desire at that time as V'chashaktaba, not Chafatzta? Why the sudden change in desire? It seems suspicious, doesn't it? But the Parsha and its desires don't end over there. You see, after describing many different acceptable and unacceptable relationships in the Torah, our Parsha introduces us to another crazy scenario, that of the Yavama and her late husband's brother. In this case, the husband dies childless, leaving his wife to fall to Yibum, an opportunity to be Mekayem Shem, to create a name for his deceased relative. You know, someone to take on his late brother's legacy. And the Torah introduces Yibum as a means to take care of the widow as well. However, here the Torah gives the one called upon to do Yibum a different option. After the widow appears in court and tells them that her Yavam does not want to do right by the deceased, and after the court itself tries to convince him to do Yibum, he still declares, Lo chafatzti lekachta, I don't want to take her. The woman is then given a chance to perform the chalitza ceremony instead, including a removal of his shoe and some spitting on the ground, which is strange in of itself. And once again, we're left bewildered with the Torah's understanding of his desire here. After all, since when does the Torah care about what we want to do? Doesn't the Torah give us the rights to? Does the Torah really give us the rights to decide if we feel like keeping Shabbos or keeping kosher? Absolutely not. And yet here, the Torah provides two totally different avenues of mitzvah, Yibum and Chalitza. Why? And in regard to the Yavama, why did his response change from her claim of Lo Ava, he doesn't want to rise to the occasion of Yibum, to his retort about Chayfetz? And when does the Torah allow us to decide, as in the case of Yifas Torah and Yibum, and when not? I thought these decisions weren't supposed to be up to us. So what's going on? Once again, I think the answer comes down to an understanding of a Chayfetz Chashud. You see, when it comes to the most Torah matters, Hashem wants us to develop a desire to follow His word. In fact, the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos tells us that we're to be mevatel, to sublimate our ratzon, our will, for the will of Hashem. This idea permeates the writings of both Hasidic and Musar masters, including perhaps most famously Rav Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, whose work Mesilas Yesharim strongly emphasizes the ideal of man's merging of his own thoughts, hopes, desires, and will to that of Hashem. And in that regard, the power of Ratzon, of man subjecting his will to Hashem, is achievable. And by the way, it's expected in most areas of life. But, and the Malbim stresses this point, that's the difference between Ratzon, which is rational and contemplative, and Chafetz or Chayfetz, which the Malbim calls more spiritual, and if I may suggest, perhaps what he means is more emotional. Ratzon can be explained, and so therefore it can be imposed by a person onto himself. If this is what Hashem expects of me, a man can say to himself, then I can and will rise to the occasion, and I will follow the expectation. Shmuel HaNavi leads a caste of Nevi'im who regularly chide the people for their insolence at mitzvah performance, and noting that the people merely bring karbanos to make up for them. The Malbim notes that even in regard to karbanos, Hashem prefers that we don't bring them to satisfy our emotional need, rather preferring our logical understanding that we're created to perform His will, including in the giving and bringing of karbanos. However, we cannot deny the tremendous energy that is provided when Chayfetz-style emotional motivation is utilized. Citing the example of Shechem, who displayed tremendous Chayfetz desire for Dinah, Yaakov's daughter, Rabbi Yerucham Levovitz notes that when we have Chayfetz desire, all of the bumps in the road to our goal seem to just easily become smooth. The only problem is, does that energy last long enough to endure? As opposed to its cheshek, lust-based counterpart, which clearly has no long-term hope. Chayfetz seems to show signs of endurance under the right circumstances. However, in relationships, especially that of the Yifas Torah and Yibum situations, that the person did not plan and did not develop, the Torah warns us that Chayfetz is chashud, it's suspicious. And the Torah wants us to recognize that in these cases, Hashem says, I know it's not you, it's not me you're rejecting. Like Rabbi Yaakov Ettlinger adds, the reason that both the Yavam, and if I may add the soldier, rejects his potential mate is that he says, I don't have a basis for a relationship with her. And thus the Torah says, fine, let me give you a different avenue to connect to Hashem and follow His word. For in the matters of the heart, it's just frankly too much to expect from a person to be expected to emote to a life partner whom you begin a relationship with solely for a third party, namely Hashem. If the chayfetz is chashud, if the desire and the love is suspect, then it's better to find a different way to express one's commitment to Hashem. And so hence Hashem offers a departure in these relationships with the mitzvah of chalitza and the opportunity to send the Yifas Torah away before forcing a relationship that is not one that has any potential of being able to endure. You know, at the end of Pirkei Avos in the summer, and really at the end of any study session in general, we talk about a different chayfetz, that of Hashem. We quote, Reb Chananya ben Akasha Omer, Reb Chananya ben Akasha used to say, Rotza HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lizaku, says Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to bring a lot of merit to Yisrael. Lefichach Hirbalem Torah mitzvos. That's why he gave us a lot of Torah and a lot of mitzvos. In the end, Hashem desires our ability to intellectually and emotionally follow His intentions for the world and our place within it. And that's why He gave us the Torah and the mitzvos in abundance. Shene'emar, like the pasuk says, Hashem chafetz l'man tzidko, yagdil Torah v'yadir. Hashem desires for His need and for His hope and for His righteousness that there should be a tremendous amount of Torah that shall endure, and it shall be beloved. Hashem chafetz l'man tzidko, yagdil Torah, He will expand the Torah, the yadir, and at the same time continue to make it precious to all of us. Wishing you and yours a beloved, wonderful Shabbat Shalom, and a Shabbat Shalom to all.